You know, I cringe almost at hearing your question. You know, when somebody is verbally abusing them, and that's the term you use, that's a pretty strong term, you're feeling like this is verbal abuse. When that happens, there's really no excuse for it.
And let me ask you just a clinical question. What is verbal abuse? Is it when someone's berated? Is it kind of, you know, because sometimes you have kind of a sharp wit and some people go, oh, you know, that must have made you feel bad. Or sometimes you'll interrupt me when we're talking. I'm thinking, I love that. I feel like he's engaged with me. I love your humor. It doesn't make me feel that way.
Right, and there's obviously degrees of what you're calling verbal abuse. Clinically, a verbal abuse is going to be a way on this end of the continuum that is going to keep this person from being the kind of person that they would like to be. They're continually pushed down, and just as you would beat somebody physically, you beat them verbally and keep them wounded.
And it's demeaning. It's demeaning, it's insulting, it's labeling, it's blaming, and it's often yelling, right? It's violence with words. It's not just unkind words, it's violent words.
And chances are, if he's doing this in front of you, it's not classically verbal abuse. It may be completely, you know, inappropriate and mean-spirited.
But it may just be the tip of the iceberg. It may cause you to wonder what's happening when I'm not present.
Okay, so what can you do about this? I would say this is an issue. If she's your friend, this is something you definitely want to talk about. There's no reason to kind of think, oh, that's private, and you know, no, because he's doing this in front of you. It obviously makes you feel uncomfortable. I'd let her know how you feel. This is not something to confront them on.
Actually. Now, I don't know, you might disagree with me, but off the cuff, I would say if you're present in the room, you can react just as a person. You can go, you know what, ouch, that hurts my spirit to hear you talk that way. I wouldn't want you to talk that way to me, and it makes me feel sad you're talking that way to someone I love. And you don't have to say that it's her thing, but you can let him know how it makes you feel.
Yeah, I'm open to it as long as you're doing it in that kind of self-reflective way, but not as an accusatory way. Hey, you know, Jim, you can't talk to my friend that way. That'll get you nowhere.
Well, it could end up hurting your friend.
Absolutely.
And if someone is the victim of abuse, they absolutely need advocacy. They need a counselor who understands these issues. This is nothing to mess around with. Not verbal abuse any more than physical abuse.
Yeah, it's both are completely damaging. So you want to be very cautious with this and how you're using that phrase, you know, verbal abuse, and then also enter into the conversation with your friend and potentially even with her husband.